You have to hit video first. She got it. She's so spot on.
Visual. We're going now?
Mm-hmm.
We're good now.
So we just did inner and outer bladder meridian. We ended with a little chapeau. So the transition now into the lower body, and we're going to first start with a little traction here of the lower back by pressing on the sacrum and leaning back towards the feet just to open up the lower back. You know that there's a strong relationship between the hip tightness and lower back tightness. And we want to start loosening the gluteals. So we're right in position here to come up and lean in and do circles. Pressure's okay, love? And you can do sustained pressure and twisting pressure. Right? This first one is the toes are planted and you're engaging and going in circles. You can bring to the yes. You can bring it to the center. Now what I started to do though is this. Video.
No butt shot today.
So here is the iliac crest. Here's upper fibers of gluteus medius. It's okay, Anthony?
Yeah.
So you're leaning in and working the gluteals this way. For some reason my right toe is cold. Why? I thought I was suffering. Something's happening. So look at how this is. You can work these fibers of the gluteals from this position too, right?
Is this just because Anthony is kind of a machine, or is that what you can
Well,
do?
because of partially about why he's built. So I'm trying to accommodate him, and the only thing that's going to change in that is me. He's going to stay the same, but I can approach differently. If my intention is to create some space in the gluteals, particularly away from the iliac crest, then my momentum is here. I can use my body weight really well. Okay?
In other words, I wouldn't do that quite the same way as my grandma.
Probably not.
Variation.
Okay, so but that first one or else this. Because grandma, I've worked on your grandmother before and she likes this.
Careful.
So here, look at this position. Flat. Flat. This. Ow. Look, straight arm.
He's gonna see this.
Flat. Flat fist.
Check out these shots.
And you're working between the side of the sacrum and the greater trochanter, the soft tissue. But you're mobilizing the leg because it brings everything up to the surface so you can contact it more.
Is this a variation or the next stroke?
This is stroke number 2.
Okay.
So see, body open to the work, right? Open stance, extended arm. Easy. Not pushing, just leaning. You loosen like this, and then you can come switching like this. Use the knee. Feel a little bit more pressure. Press in, and then you can come back out. Feel the difference there?
Oh, yeah. Real deep.
So going in is one way, right? But if you keep it pinned and then you move it out, it goes in like crazy.
Yeah.
So we're going right into the piriformis. That's the point of gallbladder meridian that helps open up the hip and send the gallbladder energy down. Very nice pinning. So you work, right? My knee is right in between, in that soft tissue between those two bony landmarks, the border of the sacrum and the greater trochanter. So it's coming at this angle it fits right in there. You work down. And it's going to come right to the hamstrings. You're going to then go right into compression of the hamstring. And you can come, just switch knees, come up like this, simple. Side of the knee right in the hamstrings. Pressure's okay? Mm-hmm. So you're working, and you get feedback from the part that you use for compression. I can feel the tightness through my knee, and it is pretty taut, but it can take the pressure. But maybe I want a bigger contact, right? And then following down, coming down, we compress to here. And we talked about how the energy gets stuck in the joints. So the back of the knee here, some nice firm circular friction allows openness here so that chi can continue down, yang descent. If you remember from the bladder presentation, the two lines, they come together right in the middle of the knee. So we're trying to free that pathway up. And some nice petrissage here of gastroc. And then we're going to work that bladder meridian that comes right between the gastroc head. Pressure's okay? Mm-hmm. So my elbow is going right between the gastroc head. And when it gets to the Achilles, it veers laterally and goes behind the malleolus and in front of the Achilles tendon. So you have to change your acclimation when you get to the Achilles tendon, because the meridian comes between the Achilles tendon and the malleolus and onto the side of the foot, and the source point is at the base of the fifth metatarsal. So you just want to come into the side of the foot, get on the source point, and then follow with pressure into the side of the foot and out the pinky toe.
Is that gallbladder or bladder?
This is bladder.
The source point.
Source point, bladder. Termination right here, bladder. So, bladder. I mentioned gallbladder when I was in the belly of piriformis. Now we're going to get the gallbladder.
It's gallbladder
on the lateral side.
Right.
So this is where we get. This is where we come into gallbladder now, because after this we're going to position the leg this way. Okay. And we're going to use us. There's a couple of different ways of doing this. Again, I want you to pay attention to the lateral border of the sacrum and the greater trochanter of the femur. And I'm going to use my arm now and just really lay into that border, because there's sites of attachment there right up against the lateral border of the sacrum. And then I'm going just directly between the lateral border and the greater trochanter, right in the belly of the muscle. Now, if working on a pretty big guy, right? So elbow, good. Knee better.
Mm-hmm.
Pressure okay? Mm-hmm. See? Elbow good. Oh, but knee, much better. And you're over your work now and it fits in that area. This is so nice. Okay, so then we can continue with the gallbladder down the side, compressing. Whatever feels good for compression. Following gallbladder. And the gallbladder, if you remember, yang meridian, it comes in front of the malleolus, and the bottom is the source point. So you see that indentation. And then digital compression right out the fourth toe. And we're going to end with a little stretch. You bring the knee to the midline. Be even with the hips. Place the foot that's closest to his head in the small of the back. So arch over the lumbar. Easy pressure just to stabilize. And you're going to bend with your knees to grab a hold of the foot. Inhale, and on the exhale, stand up straight to stretch. And do that a couple of times. Just stretch by standing up. And then when you're lowering the leg, follow it, and then pick this up. And you can transition into the other hip. Right? Same thing. Again. Okay? So let's try that, yeah? Okay, get a partner.